We're ready with the lineup. So is Jack Rain.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the starting lineups for this morning's second Division IV semifinal game. For the Cardinals of Marshall, at forward, a 6'4" junior, number 33, Matt Kruger. For the Cassville Comets, at forward, a 6'3" senior, number 44, Brian Copeman. For Marshall, a 6' senior, number 25, Troy Kremlett. For Cassville, a 6' senior, number 22, Stan Schoch. In the middle, for Marshall, a 6'5" junior, number 31, Chris Huff. For Cassville, a 6'5" freshman, number 34, Sam Oakey. The guards, for Marshall, a 6'1" senior, number 23, Chad Peterson. For Cassville, a 5'11" sophomore, number 24, Corey Sauser. For Marshall, a 6'1" senior, number 21, Greg Model. For Cassville, a 5'8" sophomore, number 30, Chad Infield. The coach of the Marshall Cardinals, Jamie Benson. The coach of the Cassville Comets, Dennis Uppana. The referees assigned for the sporting contest for the WIAA are from the Hayward area, Patrick Colgrove and Robert Frenchek.
And a quick check of where these two schools are located. Cassville in the southwest corner of the state, right on the Mississippi River, and Marshall about 15 miles east of the east side of Madison. You take a little jog north off I-94 on Highway 73, and you're in Marshall, Wisconsin. Bill Groff, what kind of game do you expect from these two teams today?
Well, both teams are basically zone defensive teams, and will run a controlled fast break, so they have a lot of similarities. The only dissimilarity is Cassville was here last year with a lot of familiar names. This is Marshall's first trip to the state, so kind of watch for some first-minute jitters here on the part of the Marshall players.
Marshall in the red uniforms with the white lettering. Cassville in the white uniforms with the green letters. Jumping center, 31, Chris Huff for Marshall. Sam Oakey, 34 for Cassville. And the tip controlled by Oakey, but Marshall gets possession. Peterson right inside to Huff. Turnaround, short. And Oakey with a rebound. Sam Oakey, a 6'5" freshman.
Jay, he's one of the best young kids I have seen either in this tournament or anywhere.
Oakey loses it, but right to Corey Sauser, who misses. And Huff pulls down the rebound. He averages 10 rebounds a game. Chris Huff, number 31.
Cassville is in a 2-3 zone right now to start the ball game.
Greg Model finds Huff in the lane. Missed it again. Here's Stan Schoch with a rebound for Cassville.
It'll be interesting to see what Marshall runs, because they played a diamond-in-one in the fourth quarter to beat Highland in the sectional final.
Cutting across the lane is Brian Copeman. He misses and he knocks it out of bounds, so Marshall will retain possession.
I'm glad you pronounced that name correctly, Jay, because you're going to be doing it a lot. He is their go-to guy.
It's K-O-O-P-M-A-N, but it's pronounced Copeman. Chad Peterson, three-pointer.
They're on the board. That'll make them less nervous.
Chad Peterson is a 6'1" senior. He's number 23. He averages 23 points a game. That air ball is taken down by Greg Model. The key to the team, says Coach Jamie Benson. And our first foul, it's going to be number 30, Chad Infield. Infield tried to cut off Model's drive, and Infield gets the first foul of this game. 6:37 left first quarter. The only basket, a three-pointer by Chad Peterson. Now he drives the lane. Oakey with a rebound, and he'll handle the ball up court. Finds infield. Block. Chris Huff.
That ball did not belong in the paint.
Model with a behind-the-back move. Finds Krieger.
Put it on the highlight film, Jay. Nice pass.
Boy, a guy for LaSalle did that in the NCAA yesterday, and now here's a WIAA player doing it. That's great.
Looked like a rerun.
Oki turnaround. Tough luck. Huff traveled with a rebound.
At the shoot-around on Wednesday, I asked Coach Dennis Uppena if he was really in trouble or if he lost a beat after his son Mike graduated, and he said no, that Sam Oki has stepped in and they have not lost anything. That's a great compliment for a kid who's a freshman.
Yeah, and not only did they lose Uppena, they lost Nate Harris and Josh Vogt from last year's team, but Cassville found a way to return to state. And here's Corey Sauser missing a three-pointer. Rebound to Stan Schaff. He finds Copeman. He missed. Sauser rebounds. Now Oki. Count it.
Well, he's not a freshman anymore. He got his first basket in the state tournament.
And the foul will be on 31, Chris Huff.
Interesting, the guy who got the offensive rebound is the smallest player on the floor for Cassville.
Marshall goes to the bench. Corey Tremaine gets Chris Huff after Huff picked up his first foul. Another substitution waiting for Marshall. It'll be number 13, Jason Killerlane, a 5'11 junior.
You know, it's somewhat of a miracle that Cassville is even here. They were only 4-4 as of January 10th, so their New Year's resolution must have been vast improvement on the part of everybody.
Well, and a couple of factors in that, too, is that the one that certainly was that Oki had a leg injury from football, so he missed a good part of the first part of the season. But now he's back, and the team is back as well. Now Marshall working with it. And a turnover. Stan Schaff picks it up. Second turnover on the Cardinals.
They got that on a deflection that time.
Copeman. Rebound to Oki, who finds Copeman. Nice block, but Copeman stays with it. Missed it again. Matt Krieger boards for Marshall.
Good second effort on the part of Brian. He just overlaid it.
Killerlane has trouble with it. And here comes Cassville right back. 4:52 left, first quarter.
Marshall is picking up in a man-for-man right now, half court.
They find Oki. He missed it. And they're going to get number 33, Matt Krieger, over the back for Marshall with a foul.
Well, Matt was trying to get some offside rebounding position and didn't find himself in a favorable spot, so he had to push and shove a little bit.
First foul on Krieger, second team foul on Marshall. Right back in, number 31, Chris Huff. And also number 25, Troy Cramblett, back in, replacing Jason Killerlane. They inbound to Schaff, who gets it back to Copeman. Copeman having a little trouble getting started today.
Well, we saw that in the first game, too. A couple of players who had been here before just got off to a bad start, but eventually it came around.
Modal to Huff. Short. Oki clears it again. He's doing a nice job on the boards early. 4 rebounds already for Huff, or rather for Oki. Driving layup. Chad infield.
Nice penetration. Dribble with the left hand, switch the ball to the right hand for a little underhand lay.
Midway through the first period, we're tied at 5. Modal to Peterson. He can hit that, and does.
He was deep on that one. That was almost a pro 3.
Chad Peterson has 6 points. 54 of 140 on three-pointers this year. And as Copeman tries to find a cutter, he throws it out of bounds. Second turnover on Cassville.
That was a good idea on Brian's part. He got the pass. He looked to the backside defensively. He had a player open, but he just threw it a little bit too high.
Matt Krieger back in for Marshall, number 33. Modal. Back out to Peterson.
He's hot.
That play works pretty well when Modal finds Peterson.
Yes, it does. And I wouldn't be surprised if the next time down they don't try to get it back in his hands again.
11-5 on those two Chad Peterson three-pointers. Now here's Saucer finding Oki. No basket, but a foul. It'll be on Chad Peterson.
It looked like he was off balance on that shot, Jay, but he really was shoved. Here you'll see it. He gets the pass. He turns, faces the basket. He got shoved, and he fell to the left.
At the line is Sam Oki, number 34. He was a team manager last year for Cassville, so he, in fact, did get a look at the fieldhouse floor when Cassville was up last time. Makes the first. 16 points, 11 rebounds a game for Sam Oki.
Today, Sam's got an entirely different perspective, however.
Yeah.
Good young player.
He hits 2 free throws, and it's an 11-7 Marshall lead with 3:10 left in the first quarter. Here's Model. Swings it back to Krieger. Peterson was open for another 3, but before he hits that, no basket. It's a foul on Cassville.
And he was upset. He thought, don't commit that foul now. I'm on a roll.
There you see Jamie Benson, the third-year head coach of the Marshall Cardinals, 23-2 on the season. First place in the Eastern Suburban Conference with a 15-1 record. Their only loss in conference to Waterloo, the second game of the season, 85-80.
One of his concerns Wednesday was would his team come in here flat after such a big emotional victory over the #1 team in the state?
Peterson again. He can't miss.
Good shooters know when they're hot.
He's 4 for 4 in three-pointers when the clock is running. He hit another one after the whistle blew. What a start for Chad Peterson. Now they find Oki again from 7.
He answered it very quickly that time.
A 3-for-2 trade for Cassville. It's now 14-9 Marshall with 2:20 left. Model finds Krieger. Block. Oki.
Timed it perfectly, Jay.
He's a freshman, huh?
Yes, he is.
Wow.
We better check his eligibility, though.
Really. Oh, there's a wide open shot for infield. He couldn't believe it. He was so wide open.
Chad came to a jump stop and said, there's nobody around me. I'm going to take it.
Those are tough to hit sometimes when you're so wide open. Model to Peterson. That's a little far out. Maybe.
Well, when you don't have a conscience, it doesn't matter.
You know, in practice, Peterson wore a Michael Jordan jersey on Wednesday.
Well, maybe he'll slam dunk one yet today. I don't know.
Stick his tongue out the whole bit. Here's a drive. Missed it. Huff rebound. Count it. Foul, Oki.
Here's a penetration move. The missed shot. Offensive rebound. And a putback. Good hard worker.
Chris Huff, a 6'5" junior. In addition to those 18 points a game, he averages 10 rebounds, and he's a 73% free throw shooter. He has 3 points, and with 1:27 left in the first quarter, we have a timeout. State tournament action continues after these messages from our statewide sponsors, Cenex, Land O'Lakes, and Menards. This is your WIAA network station.
Right now, save on storm doors and more at Menards. Larson Storm and Screen Doors are on sale. Larson doors are built with a solid wood core for extra strength, starting at just $88. And save on storm and screen door hardware from Wright Products. Choose from locks, closers, latches, and more. Now 20% off our everyday low prices. Make Menards your storm door headquarters.
Save big money at Menards.
Sometimes a little friction can create a very positive result. But when it comes to your farm equipment, friction is the last thing you need. What you need is the reliable performance of Cenex brand lubricants. With Cenex engine oils, fluids, and greases, every piece of equipment you own will be a smooth operator. Stop by your local Cenex or Land O'Lakes cooperative today.
Marshall's up 6, and here's why. Chad Peterson.
Well, this is part of the Chad Peterson highlight film right now. beautiful form. He was 4 for 4.
From three-pointers, yeah. Anyway, we
that-
asked Jamie Benson about Chad Peterson, and he wears the Michael Jordan jersey. Is he a little cocky? And no. The term is inner arrogance. That's the term this year. And boy, he's confident, and he's having a great start.
Well,
And that's a discontinued dribble on Corey Sauser.
I guess you can coach inner arrogance, but it's really tough to coach cockiness. So.
Well, and you can't beat confidence on the basketball court either. I mean, that.
Well, I'll tell you, going 4 for 4 from the tray is going to give him a lot of inner confidence and arrogance.
His only problem was he drove once, and that's just too close for him to shoot, I guess, and he missed it. Huff. Stolen. Don Adams, number 20, now in for Cassville.
Interesting matchup down the other end defensively with the Okie boy and Huff. They're going at each other.
Check it. That was infield on the steal. Adams is not in yet. Infield wears number 30. There's a three-point attempt. Stan Schaff. Boy, they need one of those to go. And Huff clears it for Marshall.
He cleared that one with so much authority that his own teammate ducked.
They look inside. That's Krieger. Okie with another block. But Muddle gets it back. He drives, and it's going to be a Cassville foul on, is it 24 or 44? 24. Corey Sauser.
What I really liked was the way Sam just stepped right up there and swatted that thing out of there.
That's a good matchup, that Huff-Okie matchup.
Oh, it really is. And, you know, a freshman, you might think would back off a little bit and be intimidated, but I'll tell you, he's stepping right up there, holding his ground.
Greg Model. Of course, Marshall has a great athletic tradition in a number of sports. Greg Model's sister, Renee, had the game-winning RBI in Marshall's state softball championship in 1987. So the Model family looking to put another championship trophy in the case this week.
Well, they're playing well right now.
Final seconds of the quarter as infield goes for three. Okie has it stolen. Chad Peterson. He'll wing it from 60 feet. And that's the quarter. We'll return after these messages from your local station. This is your WIAA network station.
The city of Marshall, famous for WIAA excellence, supports their boys basketball team and their journey to the state championship. Stanley Steamer Carpet and Upholstery Cleaners. Anything less just isn't carpet cleaning. Visit Marshall IGA Sausage Kitchen, famous for homemade sausage and brats. Cook inside or grill outside. Read all the local news and sports in the Courier. To subscribe, call 837-2200, 837-2200. Best of luck to Coach Benson and his Fighting Cardinals.
Yamaha lowers the boom on boredom, and if it can be built, Yamaha has it in their lean street machines, high-tech road runners, or dirt toss and off-road cycles. Go your own way with Yamaha, a leader in the motorcycle industry. Motorcycling is one of the few joys in life equal to the free-spirited feel. So buy Yamaha. Where we don't live up to the standard, we exceed it. In Richland Center, see Vitesnik Motors. In Madison, Young America Sports Center. And in Jefferson, see Four Seasons Yamaha.
Marshall by 7 after our first quarter, and Bill Groff, it's 3 points. Well, 4 of 4 for Peterson from three-point range. That's 12 points. That's 12 of the 18. That's a big factor.
It is. The rebounds are pretty even, 10-9, which we expected. There's a nice size matchup with Okie and Model, or Huff, excuse me.
Okay, here we go. Second quarter. Cassville has the ball first. And a foul right off the bat on Greg Model. They have to get Ryan Copeman going here. He averages 15 points a game, and I don't believe he has scored yet, has he? 0 for 4 from the field for Brian Copeman, so they need him. The 6'3" senior. Time for him to take charge here.
I think they talked about that between quarters. Let's get the ball in his hands a little bit more.
Infield tries three and gets it.
Nice baseline trade.
Chad Infield is a 5'8" sophomore. Cassville starts 2 sophomores and a freshman. Huff, rebound over Okie.
Good strong move, got the ball, kept it high above his head so none of the little guys could get in there and swat it away, and turned and powered it to the basket.
6-point lead for Marshall. Copeland's underneath the basket, and he's on the board.
Nice pass to the backside of the defense that time. Good recognition.
And we have an injured player for Marshall. It's Troy Cramblett. I think he just got an inadvertent elbow either in the nose or the chin. And as we take a look at numbers at the first quarter, the Cassville shooting percentage has to come up.
Well, actually, both teams are a little bit subpar as far as field goals are concerned. Free throws are respectable. Interesting matchup, too. I'm kind of watching this Chad infield, Chad Peterson matchup. They're going at it pretty well here.
And there is the matchup Bill talked about, as this time Peterson drives the lane, dishes nicely to Krieger, but guess who's there?
We better start keeping a tally on Mr. Oakey's blocks here.
Two blocks for Oakey. And there's a basket for Cassville. Infield again. He's having a good first half.
Chad's a very sneaky penetrator. He's not a slasher, but he just kind of gets by you and you don't expect him to.
7-2 run for Cassville. Infield has 9 points today. They go into Krieger. It rolls out. Oakey rebounds. Cassville can tie the game.
That was a beautiful lob pass. He lobbed it right to the corner of the backboard. They just didn't come out of there with anything. And it's getting louder and warmer in here.
The last tie was at 5-5. We're now 6 minutes left in the second quarter. And if Copeman makes it, it's tied again, but he didn't. Modal with a rebound for Marshall, and the Cardinals want to run. Modal still with it. Over Oakey.
Drove by two guys that way on his way to a field goal.
Before the game, the Marshall coaching staff said they had great faith in their seniors, Modal, Peterson, Cramblett, and they were very relaxed for the start of this game, and they're playing very well. But there's a freshman again, Sam Oakey.
That was a very nice little duck-in move for a big guy. Lowered his head, went underneath two sets of arms, took it strong to the basket. I like this kid, Jay.
He has 9 points. Peterson tries another three. 5 for 5.
I'll tell you, the temperature in the field house just jumped a couple more degrees every time he unlatches one.
Holy smokes. But get it right back in Oakey's hands. Copeman battles with it. Peterson tries to save it, and he goes over the water fountain over there. The water bucket. He's back, though.
Boy, he did that just like a hurdler. Did the track season start yet?
Boy.
Wow, he cleared that one well. Here's a great hustle play. Up and over. Give me a drink, coach.
Gee whiz. He didn't even spill a drop.
Nope.
A couple of empty cups, I think he got, but very impressive.
And he even called timeout.
The man's all over the place. Well, Cassville had it down to 2, but now it's up to a 5-point advantage again, 25-20. The 77th annual Boys State Basketball Championships are brought to you statewide by Cenex Land O'Lakes and your local Cenex Land O'Lakes Cooperative.
Jay, you were talking about going to seniors. I think one of the seniors in the ball game for Cassville, Brian Copeman, is pressing just a little bit. You know, he's taking a lot of responsibility on here as a leader, and he's just rushing things a little bit, and I'm sure that as the game progresses, he's going to get over that.
Now, Marshall, one of the comments Jamie Benson made the other day, and you hit on it with their big win over Highland, the #1 ranked team in the state. Now is not the time for them to relax, he says. It's time to put on the pressure. So it's interesting how Cassville kind of has to cool off a little bit. But Marshall, they want to keep punching and keep going and keep rolling in this tournament.
Well, once you get going in the tournaments, after every victory, the intensity just keeps building. And that can be good, but it can also work against you because sometimes you're too intense and it affects your style of play. But I thought both teams have adjusted quite well here. We're seeing a lot of good things. Good perimeter shooting, good inside play, good rebounding. And, of course, the hustle's always there.
Chad Peterson has already tied the Division IV record for three-pointers that was set by Doug Palomas. I hope I said that right, of Wasaukie last year. The tournament record is 6 by Craig Gillick of Glenwood City in 1989.
Another strong rebound that time by Chris Huff.
4:45 left. Peterson to Matt Krieger. Right back in Peterson's hands against infield. And Peterson got it caught up in his body that time, and it's a discontinued dribble and a turnover.
That's what pressure defense does, and especially what Chad Infield is doing. He is really right up there on him. I think Chad got sick and tired of seeing all these three-pointers go flying over him.
They probably brought it up in the huddle, I would guess, huh?
I would guess.
Here's Infield now working on offense. Wide open. That's Don Adams now in. But Krieger gets the rebound for Marshall.
Maybe they told Chad Infield, if you're guarding a guy with inner arrogance, maybe you should get some too.
Hey, there you go. Well, it worked out that last time.
He's pushing them out farther and farther.
Now Peterson works inside the arc. Modal with it. 32, Jim Fishnick is now in for Cassville. Peterson, another three. 6 for 6.
Give me a break.
He's already tied the tournament record.
I think he's going to keep it going, too. It's going to be a hard one to break if he keeps at this pace.
Okie. Block. Pop. And Peterson gets it for Marshall.
The only thing lacking there was Sam Okie should have maybe given a ball fake that time and got the defender off his feet. But again, he's only a freshman. That'll come.
Nice pick and roll there, but the pass too far for Matt Krieger. And turnover again for Marshall.
That was an example of good help side defense that time. They defended the pick and roll. They tried to pass to the backside, and the man who was helping out got the steal.
That shot misses, and Huff rebounds again, and over the back is Jim Fishnick.
That's a temptation that a lot of players have. Their opponent gets the rebound. They're on their back. Instead of just going down the floor, they think, well, maybe I can just get a piece of it yet. You got to back off and go back down, and maybe next time you'll get it.
First foul on Jim Fishnick, the 5th team foul on Cassville. With 2:50 left in the first half. Now here's Huff pulling up at the free throw line. Infield tracks the loose ball for Cassville. And here come the Comets down 8.
He had pretty good form on that jump shot. He just kind of short-rimmed it.
Fishnick, baseline, over Krieger. Nice play.
Nice-looking shot. Little leaner that time.
Jim Fishnick, a 5'11" junior. Here's Huff again against Okie. Count it. Boy, that time you saw Huff lean just the right way around Okie and draw the foul and make the basket.
Got enough body contact there in the act of shooting. This is going to be a fun matchup to watch all ball game. Neither player backs down. They're both aggressive. They're both smart. They got some moves.
Chris Huff, all conference this year in the Eastern Suburban. 3.8 grade point.
Well, we don't have to worry about him understanding what coach says in the huddle.
No kidding. Runs cross country. Runs track. Runs hurdles in track.
I would imagine the high hurdles.
Here's Copeman inside. Blocked by Huff. Get that stuff out of here. Cramblett 3.
He just told Chad Peterson, hey, I can do that too. If they're going to shut you off, I'll just turn it up a notch.
Well, during the regular season, Cramblett was a much better three-point shooter than Peterson. Cramblett hits 52% from three-point range, 49 of 95.
Great percentage. Anything above 40% from three-point range is respectable.
Must be that every outdoor basket in Marshall, on the playgrounds in Marshall, is like they put chairs or something inside the three-point arc, and you have to shoot outside.
I'm not sure. That or the paint stores are selling a lot of paint. They're painting them on.
We talked about the outside shooting, but inside, as you say, Bill, it's been a great matchup between the freshman and the junior.
Well, obviously you live and die with the outside shot, so you've got to get an inside game also. The good teams, the ones that go the furthest, have both dimensions. They're not one-dimensional.
And after looking at the outside, or the inside play, rather, you're going to look at some outside work. Here's Cramblett joining the Marshall three-point parade.
Had a lot of time, good form, and their fans are happy.
So apparently the three-pointer is the Marshall plan.
Well, it's certainly part of their offense.
Yeah.
I don't think this is just happening today. I think this has been a big part of them getting here. And it's fun. The three-point thing has just brought a lot of excitement to high school and college basketball.
Do they put up the threes at Brookfield Central pretty good?
If I let them.
Do you let them?
Some people I let.
All right. There's another turnover as infield commits Cassville's 5th turnover with 1:32 left in the first half. 34-22 Marshall.
They have very methodically here built a nice lead.
Guess what? That's a miss on a three. How about that? That's news. But Huff with another rebound, and he's on the floor.
Went down pretty hard.
Yeah. Foul on 44, Brian Copeman. Marshall is in the bonus. Shooting the bonus, I should say.
And again, the reason that Chris gets to the free throw line as often as he does, he's just a very active player. He's not a stander arounder. He's always on the move.
He shoots the 1-and-1 and makes the first. Well, one thing about Marshall, too, is that these kids and their coach, Jamie Benson, have been together an awful lot. 5 of the last 6 years, Benson has been coaching these seniors. That'd be Cramblett, Peterson, Model. And you can really work a rapport together when you have a good base like that.
Well, they respect each other. They like each other. They play well together.
There's Copeman trying on the base, or in the lane rather, and that's going to be a foul on Marshall. Marshall's 5th team foul. And the foul is on Matt Krieger.
Marshall is very conscious of where Brian Copeman is at all times. Every time he gets the ball, he's...
Speaking of Copeman?
Yes. He was surrounded there, too. One on each side of him.
Copeman and Oki are first cousins, by the way, so they know each other very well.
You know, it's unbelievable, all the different family basketball connections we've had on all these different teams this year.
Foul on Greg Model, his 2nd. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. 32, Jim Fishnick, his 2nd. Model will be shooting the free throws.
It does seem that Marshall is on the free throw line a lot, and that's because they're taking it to the basket.
Model with a miss on the bonus, and the rebound goes to Don Adams. No relation to Maxwell Smart. Brian Copeman scores.
That'll help his confidence a little bit. A nice fadeaway jump shot.
35-26.
Looks like they're going to just pull it out and get either the last shot or the best shot available right now.
Well, the way it's going, their best shot is a three-pointer.
Right, in the hands of Mr. Peterson.
He's calling for it already. Well, now he has it.
Little double team that time.
Here's Model. He's trying to find Krieger. Krieger gets it to Peterson. No! Oki has it with 7 left. Oki still has it behind the back. Three-pointer. No! Basket interference. They're going to count it. One of the Marshall Cardinals hit the net. So you got a 6'9" freshman.
And they're counting it as a 3.
For a three-pointer.
You see the basket interference that time. He pulled on the net, and it's a 3-point play.
Boy.
Excitement,
Does that give Cassville a little something to go into the locker room with? You bet. The 77th annual WIAA Boys State Championships continue after these messages from our statewide sponsors, Marshfield Clinic and the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board. This is your WIAA network station.
In many institutions, research is done, often at the expense of patient care. That's not the case here. From people in the business office to our medical assistants, to the assistants at the Research Foundation, all are interested in taking care of the patient in the best way possible. So that's our primary orientation. We look upon research and education as ways to better improve the care of patients. We're always changing for the better at Marshfield Clinic.
Milk is sure helping me get stronger. Back when I started high school, guys pushed me around just because I was smaller. But I was working out, drinking milk, developing my muscles. By senior year, milk had made a difference. Pardon me, guys. I love this part. Pardon me, guys. So as you can see, it pays to be big on milk. Milk. It does a body good.
Jay Wilson and Bill Groff back with you at the University of Wisconsin Fieldhouse at halftime, Division IV semifinals. Just when it looked like Marshall might be taking control of the game and pulling things away, Cassville always seems to make a little move, and they're still down 6, but they're right back in the game.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Cassville finds themselves in a different position than they were last year. Last year they had to lead most of the ball game. Now they're behind, so we'll see what they have to do now to come from behind. They know how to blow a lead. Now we got to find out if they know how to overcome a lead.
Okay, 35-29 Marshall at halftime. Now here's another guy who can hit three-pointers, Chris Roth.
Thanks a lot, Jay. We may have to wait a little bit, so they move back to three-point line for the Marshall Redbirds. Chad Peterson has 6 three-pointers. He knows no range. All right, let's move it along here. You know, it's been a year-long birthday party in your local high school gym, college, and even the pro gymnasiums. Why? It's the 100th anniversary of the game of basketball. Our Jay Wilson now takes us back to the origins of the game and some of the more memorable moments in Wisconsin hoops history.
It's called America's Game, invented in Springfield, Massachusetts. Invented by a young Canadian named Dr. James Naismith. One winter morning in 1891, Naismith took a soccer ball, nailed 2 peach baskets to the wall, and before you knew it, basketball was invented. Naismith was teaching a gym class at the Springfield YMCA and tried his new game out on the students. The first basketball game had 9 players a side because 18 men happened to show up for class that day in mid-December of 1891. In 100 years, basketball has grown steadily, and with all the television exposure lately, the game continues to enjoy even greater popularity. High school basketball in Wisconsin has a long, rich tradition, too. In fact, the first high school basketball game ever played in the United States was held in Fond du Lac in 1905. The game featured designated free throw shooters and something called gift points. A gift point was awarded when an opposing team committed 3 straight fouls. The first high school basketball tournament in Wisconsin was held in 1905. Lawrence College in Appleton conducted invitational tournaments from 1905 to 1918. The Lawrence Invitational and the Normal Schools Tournament then ran competition with each other from 1916 to 1918. The WIAA then took over the tournament in 1919. Like the game itself, the tournament went through the growing process. The late Earl Bealey played for Waterloo in 1919.
It seemed to me we went to Columbus. We had to go in the lumber wagon. We went to Columbus, and I don't know if we won or we got beat, but when we got home, we got in the lumber wagon, and then they throwed rotten eggs and tomatoes at us.
All schools were in one class until 1934, when they split to 2, large and small schools. Shortly after that, they tried 3 classes or divisions. Then in 1940, the whole plan was scrapped and everyone was back in one class again. It stayed one class until 1972, when the format was revised again. 2 classes in 73, 3 in 74, and last year the tournament expanded to its current 4-division format. There have been many great teams. Beloit has won the most state titles, 7. Only 2 schools have won 3 straight championships. Beloit in 1932 through 34, And in the mid-70s, marathon.
This one here could give the Red Raiders championship number 3. He got it.
And Seibert will let the clock run out, and the ball game is over. Marathon wins their 3rd straight Class C championship in overtime.
I must admit there were some great teams in Class C, and I really honestly didn't think we could do it, but the kids did, and I gotta say they just kept in there all the time. The kids kind of forced it because they kept their heads, and we won.
The best team ever? Well, that's almost impossible to say, but you'd get a lot of votes for the Milwaukee Lincoln teams of the 1960s. Clarence Sherrod, Fred Brown, Max Walker. The Comets won 5 state titles in just 9 years. Another landmark in Wisconsin high school basketball came in 1976, the first girls' state tournament. Madison West defeated Neenah 59-46 in the first Class A title game. Today, over 400 schools and 11,000 girls play WIAA basketball in Wisconsin. But for all the years and all the teams that have made March a special time here at the Fieldhouse, it's those moments, those great moments that stand out in our minds.
It's been fun to be part of it and to see all the games, and naturally every person that sees a state tournament, if they see more than one, they've got their favorite game, their favorite player, and that's the way it is with me too.
Remember 1974? Superior trails powerhouse Milwaukee Lincoln by 2 in the final seconds.
Lincoln, of course, will not want to commit a foul because the bonus would be in effect if they do. They have committed 4. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Moody off the stack with 1 second. The shot on the way. It's an overtime.
Superior went on to win that game in overtime. But the one moment that captures the excitement of this tournament, 1969. Beloit trails Neenah, and a guy named Lamont Weaver makes basketball history. Today, high school basketball in Wisconsin enjoys its greatest success ever. And there are more highlights to be made, more titles to be won, and more enjoyment for us all.
Curry back out to Harrell. Jackson at the buzzer. Got it! We're going to overtime!
Happy birthday, basketball.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay Wilson. A fun trip down memory lane for basketball. Well, Jay and Bill will be back with first half stats and highlights after these messages from your local station. This is your WIAA network station.
When you buy a high-quality Comfort Maker furnace or air conditioner, you get superb home comfort and something more. High energy efficiencies that could mean big savings on your utility bills. Day after day, month after month, year after year. Comfort Maker, all the comforts of home.
In Windsor, contact A. Windsor Sheet Metal. In Columbus, contact Quality Electric and Heating. Or in Madison, contact Heating and Cooling Incorporated.
The city of Marshall, famous for WIAA excellence, supports their boys basketball team and their journey to the state championship. Call Modal Electric for all your electrical needs in the Marshall area. 655-3113. Modal Electric, 655-3113. Farmers and Merchants State Bank, located in Marshall and Waterloo. Over 90 years of banking service. Fry Realty, Marshall's #1 realtor. Contact Larry Fry for home sales and new home construction. Best of luck to Coach Benson and his Fighting Cardinals.
Jay Wilson and Bill Groff back with you. 35-29, Marshall leading Cassville. And Bill, as we take a quick check of the highlights, we're going to see really just about everything. Inside, outside, young guys, older guys.
Well, here's a penetration and ditch, and there's Chad Peterson with another 3. Pretty deep.
Then Cassville tried a 3. Chad Infield converts. Now Marshall comes right back. Greg Modal, one of their seniors, with a driving layup.
Nice penetration, strong move to the basket.
You know why they have that W on the court? Not that one, but the other one on the right there. That's where Chad Peterson's supposed to shoot from.
That's a pro 3 right there. That's going to be played at all the Peterson family reunions, by the way, Jay.
Now 3 is the number of the day for Marshall. The one thing that happened near the end of the first half, Brian Copeman started doing some offensive damage for Cassville, and that's important for them.
Yes, he did, and it was good that they started getting him the ball.
Boy, you just have to look at the bottom line. The game is a bottom line game, and there's the stats.
There it is. 7 for 9 tells it all. That's why that lead is what it is. Rebounds are the same. Everything is pretty close.
And Oki, the freshman, leading Cassville with 12, and Peterson with 18 leading Marshall. More state tournament action continues after these messages from our statewide sponsors, Rural Insurance Companies and Menards. This is your WIAA network station.
You're a pretty good driver. What makes a good driver? Well, it's not what you drive. Golden Rocket. And it's not where you drive. It's how you drive. Avoid the company of bad drivers, and you won't pay for their mistakes. So, how would you drive?
Beautify your bath with remodeling ideas from Menards. Tub surround kits by Design House are on sale now. They're easy to install and easy to clean. This white trio tub surround is just $29.99 and adds style with a mirrored medicine cabinet by Nautilus. Choose from traditional and contemporary styles on sale now, starting at just $9.99. Remember Menards for all your bath remodeling projects.
Save big money at Menards.
We're back. Start of the third quarter. Marshall has the ball in his 6-point lead. The ball in the hands of Chad Peterson, number 23. They look for Peterson right off the bat. He's guarded nicely, cut off the baseline by Brian Copeman, and that forced a travel.
Chad had to run the baseline 2 times that time just to try and get his hands on the ball. He also has tied a state record with the 6 3-points. He tied Craig Jellick of Glenwood City, who did it in 1989.
And as far as the team goes, the most 3-pointers in a game by a team is 9, set by 4 teams. Marshall already has the Division IV record with 7. So they need 2 more to tie the all-time record, and 3 more gives them the all-time mark. And a foul on the play. It's on number 25, Troy Kremblett.
I guess where that saying comes from, Jay, records are made to be broken. We just see them broken every year. Better things are happening.
The inbound high goes to Corey Sauser. Infield. Now they get it into Oki with a turn that doesn't go. But Sauser beats Huff to the ball. Here's Copeman.
That's a good start for the senior this half. He didn't start the ball game that way, but I think you're going to see him do a little bit more dominating than he did in the first half.
Dennis Uppena, his 7th year as head coach of Cassville, tied for 2nd place in the Black Hawk Conference with a 12-4 record. First place, Highland, was undefeated until they lost to Marshall in the final, in the sectional final.
Brian Koopman just picked up a pass off of a offensive pick-and-roll maneuver.
And Troy Kremblett was kicking the basketball, so Cassville will inbound it.
Both teams have come out now in the second half playing man-for-man defense.
They try to double-team Oki, but he gets around it, tries with the left hand, and Koopman with a foul misses. And they're going to call a foul on Stan Schaaf.
Well, one half of the field house thought the zebra made a good call. The other half said, no way. There's a great maneuver on the baseline by a freshman. Went right by his man. I thought maybe he put the ball up on the wrong side of the basket, but coaches always talk like that.
6:50 remaining, third quarter. It's 35-31.
We've got the same defensive matchup, Chad Infield against Chad Peterson.
Huff got too deep, and they couldn't do anything about it.
One thing that Marshall is doing now, they're starting Peterson on the baseline. They're starting him deep and then breaking him out to the wing or the top.
Back to a 6-point lead, but Infield trying to do something about that. He hits Corey Sauser with a left-hander.
Nice little penetration and pass off.
Infield on Peterson again. Peterson, baseline.
Well, he worked off of one screen, took it down to the baseline area, squared up nicely, and converts. He's a good shooter.
That's his first basket inside the 3-point arc.
Well, that's kind of boring compared to what he's been doing.
Into the Marshall lineup, 51, Corey Tremaine. He'll get Troy Cramblett. Long inbound to Stan Schaff. Infield's open. Three-point attempt is short. Chris Huff. Broken record. Chris Huff.
Isn't that something?
Three-pointer, Peterson.
He's got the record. He's got it by himself now. 7
for 7.
Count them. I think he's going to get a few more before this is all over with, too. I wonder if they told him at halftime, hey, you know, one more sport, you got a state record.
Well, he probably sees all those signs that are saying 3. He said, well, I got to get 1 for each one of those signs or something. Now here's a 3 by Sauser that misses. But Schaff rebounds for Cassville. Turn jumper, Oki.
Very difficult for a right-handed player to turn to his left like that and square up, but he did it. Only a freshman.
Modal all the way.
Oh, nice left hand. Great left hand.
Well, I don't think there's much this Marshall team can't do.
Well, there's no doubt when you knock off the #1 team in the state, you've got something cooking.
Three-point attempt, Stan Schaff. Short.
Boy, they laid off of him. They just begged him to take that shot.
Peterson looking for Krieger. Coltman knocked it out of bounds. It'll stay with Marshall.
You know, that kind of shows you, though, that Chad Peterson is a good shooter, but he will pass the ball up. If somebody's open, he's going to get him the ball. And that was an example of that.
Here comes number 32, Jim Fishnick, into the Cassville lineup. You mentioned Highland. Unless I think if you're in the southern part of the state or have really looked closely at Division IV, a lot of people might not know about Highland, but they were the team to beat in this part of the state in that sectional. They knocked off Argyle, which featured Travis Tuttle, who's been a southwestern Wisconsin legend. He scored 55 points, I believe, against Highland. But then Marshall came back and beat that team to get the state.
Well, they got the ball where they wanted that time, but one of Chris Huff's teammates was standing in the lane taking a picture.
And Chad Peterson is injured. He's having trouble standing up on one of his legs. He's grabbing for his left ankle.
I didn't see what happened, Jay, but it looks like one of those things where you step on another player's foot and twist your ankle a little bit.
Because he's grabbing the ankle, but he's not putting any pressure on that left side. Coach Jamie Benson out there.
One good sign is that he got up and he put some weight on it again, and that's the first thing that you look for. Now, obviously, they got to look at it, maybe ice it, tape it up. They're just going to walk him around now a little bit just to see what the condition is.
So some great concern in the Marshall crowd. 4:30 left in the third quarter. 44-35, the Cardinals still have the lead, but now they'll see what they can do without Chad Peterson, who's been an offensive explosion today.
There's a little concern on Coach Jamie Benson's face, too.
Peterson is still in great pain, and Oki, count it.
Very nice. What I liked was how he worked to get free to get the basketball. You don't get the ball by standing around. Here he comes flashing across the lane, turns toward the baseline, which again is difficult for a right-handed player, and then he shows a little emotion after he makes it.
Oki with 16 points now, and he'll shoot to convert the three-point play. WIAA state tournament action is brought to you statewide by Marshfield Clinic, a national leader in medical care, research, and education. Off the rebound, a miss, and Krieger gets it for the Marshall Cardinals.
That may have been an ill-advised shot. He tried to put it up over a kid almost a foot taller than him.
Midway through the third quarter, steal, Oki.
Well, that was a smart play. He didn't like what he saw up ahead of him, and he didn't want a chance turning it over, so he just pulled it back.
Fishnick left open. Oki over the back, no foul. Rebound, no. Huff for Marshall.
Huff. You might say he's huffing and puffing the way he's working out here.
13 is Jason Killerlane. What a move.
Well, they've changed their attack now that Chad Peterson is out of the lineup. We're seeing more penetration than outside shooting.
Killerlane's first 2. Marshall back up 9. Huff on infield now. And a foul on Huff.
Well, that's one of those silly fouls.
Yeah.
You foul a guy who's not any threat as far as scoring is concerned.
Second foul on Huff, third team foul.
20 feet away from the basket. But that's the fun of the game. We're dealing with human nature here.
Fishnick tries 3. Gets none.
And another one, another bound.
Huff, 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 Huff. Modal. 51 is Corey Tremaine. Huff. Got a shot off somehow. Killerlane, 3. My goodness.
Well, he's going to take up the slack for a while. That shot by Chris Huff, he didn't even leave the ground. He just was on his tippy toes.
9 3-pointers for Marshall.
Cassville is concerned.
Man, the 77th annual Boys State Basketball Championships continue after these messages from our statewide sponsors, Cenex, Land O'Lakes, and Marshfield Clinic. This is your WIAA network station.
Ever think of your local Cenex or Land O'Lakes cooperative as a landmark? Sure, it's no Grand Canyon or Eiffel Tower, but it's been there for a while, a long while. At Cenex Land O'Lakes,
as far as World Series is concerned, I would have to say that this year was a terrific World Series to have to win.
Land O'Lakes Co-op, a symbol of the country way of doing things.
In one word, I'd have to say it's caring. Caring for the patient. The janitorial support staff, too. You know that everybody cares. You go in there and you can see it's not just somebody doing his job. The place is sparkling, caring. Through the Marshfield Clinic.
Here's another 3-pointer. Chad Peterson just went to the locker room with his injured ankle, but somebody else can shoot him and make him.
This is Jason Killerlane.
Marshall's hot shooting continues. 6 out of 7 from the field in the third quarter. 2:31 left.
And just as hot as Marshall is, that's how cold Cassville is.
Coltman. Foul. Huff. Chad Peterson was just taken to the Marshall locker room. They were working on him behind the Marshall bench. He twisted an ankle. We think it's a twisted left ankle. We're having someone check on it right now. But they just took him to the Marshall locker room along with a number of other medical personnel. He was walking on his own power. So they're taking every precaution because Chad Peterson, obviously a very valuable part of this Marshall team. Brian Coltman, a 64% free throw shooter. First team all-conference as a junior and a senior, a member of the National Honor Society. In for Marshall, first appearance of the day for Bobby Smith. Out comes Chris Huff with his third personal foul.
Well, and he deserves a rest, too. He's really been working hard.
He's been huffing.
Yes, he has.
49-39 now with 2:20 left. 10 points.
I think one thing Marshall has to do here is show a little bit more patience now that they've got a lead. Play with the lead. Don't put it into an ice situation, but under control.
Corey Tremaine tried to find Bobby Smith, but it bounced off Smith's hands and out of bounds.
When you have a lead, you really don't have to force the issue. You break down the defense and create situations for yourself.
And now they have some different faces in there with Peterson and Huff out of the lineup. Don Adams. Tremaine rebounds for Marshall. Modal. Tremaine. Rebound Oki.
They may be putting it up just a little bit too quick, Joe.
To Oki. He's double teamed but gets a shot off. Adams scraps for the rebound, but Modal picks it for Marshall.
The only thing on that play, it would have been nice to see Sam Oki follow his shot that time. He may have got his own rebound.
Can Modal hit it? No. But Tremaine gets the long rebound for Marshall. Boy, nobody's going to talk to Modal on the bench. He missed a three. Killer Lane.
He's not in the club anymore.
Jason Killer Lane has hit 3 shots in a row off the bench for Marshall. 51-39. Schaaf driving, wild shot. He falls to the floor. Rebound, Bobby Smith.
He tried to redeem himself by going for the steal that time off the rebound.
Jamie Benson puts up one finger. If that meant one shot, that wasn't it. Now here's Schaaf with Koopman driving the lane. Foul.
They're going to give him 2, and I kind of thought maybe they got him before he went into the act of shooting. I thought he got him on the floor.
Corey Tremaine with the personal, his first foul.
What we've seen here, Jay, for Marshall is they have come down 3 times in a row and forced the ball in the middle, and they haven't even gotten a shot off. They've got to do a little bit better job of taking care of the basketball, especially with the lead. You build on a lead. You don't destroy your own lead.
Troy Cramblett back in. Corey Tremaine out for Marshall. Here's Brian Koopman looking for his 11th point.
Obviously now the free throws are important because the clock stops. You start biting away at that lead that you've got. And if you can finish the quarter under 10, you're in pretty good shape.
That miss rebounded to Bobby Smith. And in the final seconds of the 3rd quarter, it's an 11-point lead for Marshall, and the Cardinals have the ball. Now Modal will slow it down. We've seen a lot of this.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's a horse apiece.
But if you've got Greg Modal on your team, I think it works most of the time.
Like that?
Kind of like that.
Jay, you should go into coaching, you know?
That's the last thing I need. Don Adams, 3 misses at the buzzer. And Marshall's in good shape as we head to the 4th quarter. We'll return after these messages from your local station. This is your WIAA network station.
When you buy a high-quality Comfort Maker furnace or air conditioner, you get superb home comfort and something more. High energy efficiencies that could mean big savings on your utility bills. Day after day, month after month, year after year. Comfort Maker, all the comforts of home.
In Cambridge, contact Taylor Heating and Air Conditioning. In Janesville, contact A&A Sheet Metal. Or in Wanakee, contact Ray Greiber & Sons Heating.
The city of Marshall, famous for WIAA excellence, supports their boys basketball team and their journey to the state championship. Stanley Steamer Carpet and Upholstery Cleaners. Anything less just isn't carpet cleaning. Visit Marshall IGA Sausage Kitchen, famous for homemade sausage and brats. Cook inside or grill outside. Read all the local news and sports in the Courier. To subscribe, call 837-2200, 837-2200. Best of luck to Coach Benson and his Fighting Cardinals.
53-40 Marshall, and they put a couple of points on with about 10 seconds left as the last shot worked.
Great penetration move by Greg Model. That almost looks like a duplicate of one that he had last quarter.
Guess who's back on the Marshall bench? That is Chad Peterson lacing up the sneakers. He's out of the locker room. It looks like he may return very shortly for Marshall.
We're going to see now what Cassville is going to do to start chipping away at this lead. I would imagine some kind of full court pressure.
That shot too hot. Schaaf with a rebound, and he's fouled. The word on Chad Peterson from Jim Sosha, our roving reporter. An ankle sprain, but he's going to be okay. In fact, as we speak, Peterson reports to the bench, to the scorer's table, and he's back in.
And all the people with red and white paint on their faces are real happy. That's going to help them down the stretch because when they need a clutch basket, obviously, he's going to be the one who's going to have the ball in his hands.
And our statistician, Don Kirk, comes up with another interesting stat. Marshall was 9-5. They outscored Cassville 9-5 without Peterson.
Well, when you can do that, you're really a team.
Dennis Uppana and Randy Hatlin on the Cassville bench. Interesting thing about Cassville, we mentioned they started 2 sophomores and a freshman. Their JV team, without 2 sophomores and a freshman that were starting with the varsity, coached by Randy Hatlin, 15-5 this year. So they've got more good players coming up in Cassville.
Don't be surprised if they're all back again next year. I wouldn't be. Once you get something going, and an appearance in the state tournament is a great motivator, it may go on for years.
Look at that. Oki's above his season's average already.
That's why I like him.
But you know, it's so funny how you can have the talent, but to get back here, what a fine line. You talk to the people in Highland about that, right?
Oh, yes.
Or Cuba City.
Your whole season all of a sudden is down to 1 or 2 plays in the last minute of a ball game.
Peterson looks to have pretty good mobility. He has fouled. The foul is on number 30, Chad Infield. Well, now as Peterson walks this way, he walks a little gingerly.
But you know what, Jay? When he gets the ball in his hands, you'll watch how quickly he is able to move. What may affect him is working to get the ball. That's where he's going to be using most of his effort.
And Infield is all over him. You see him in the baseline. Now Peterson comes up.
Well, now he's really favoring it, Jim.
Yeah.
Or Jay, excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to stay in. I don't think he's going to make it.
As Huff drives, he's fouled by Oki. Nope, check it. It's going to be on number 22, Stan Schauf. His the third team foul on Cassville in this half with 7:11 remaining, 4th quarter.
There's a nice shot of 2 kids at half court. They're watching each other the whole ball game. And Chad asked, Chad, are you all right?
Yeah, Infield and Peterson.
Lots of respect there. And that's great. State tournaments do a lot of things for kids, and obviously these 2 kids respect each other.
And one thing we didn't bring up, Jamie Benson said that his team has not had any injuries this year. Knock on wood. He said that Wednesday.
He never should have made that statement. Well, you can see Chad here walking back to half court. I just don't know. 7 minutes is a long time. It may not be a bad idea just to yank him for a couple more minutes. If your reserves can hang on to a lead and build on a lead, you may want to save them for another day.
At the line is Chad Infield. The foul on Peterson is 2nd. The 7th team foul on Marshall. Dennis Uppena. Hoping his team can somehow close that margin. They do with a free throw with 7:05 left. WIAA state tournament action brought to you statewide by Menards, helping families build America's heartland for 32 years. Here's Peterson against Infield. The drive. Missed it. Oki rebounds.
Looked pretty healthy on that move,
yeah.
Jay. I think he'll be all right.
But then again, you see as he runs down court, I don't know if you can see it in the shot, but he still has that little hitch in his giddy up, as they say.
Yeah, well, he's showing a lot of courage. It obviously is not very good, but when he gets the ball, he's just going to do everything in his power that he can to help his team.
6:40 left.
Cassville is really tightening up their man-for-man defense, and they're double-teaming the ball now.
Schauf knocks it to Saucer, and Cassville gets the ball. Coltman. Schauf to Coltman.
Nice move. Flashed across the lane to get it. Steals the ball.
That's Schauf.
They're coming back. 3!
Cassville within 6.
Leads evaporate in a hurry when you're in the field house. Not only for the University of Wisconsin.
But here comes Huff over Oki. What an answer.
Yep. That's what you got to do. You got to get high percentage baskets when another team goes at you.
Saucer goes for 2. Overlays. If it's on Modal, that's 5.
Oh, boy.
It is.
So now we've got one player fouled out. We've got another one with a gimpy ankle.
Here's the strong move by Saucer. That Huff bothered that one, but Saucer fought hard and Eventually led to the 5th foul by Greg Model.
Close call. Both players were going for the ball. That's a hustle foul. You really can't blame your player.
The 77th Annual Boys Basketball Championships continue after these messages from our statewide sponsors, Rural Insurance Companies, and the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board. This is your WIAA network station.
Real butter makes holiday parties taste better.
These cookies taste strange. Did you use butter?
No.
No wonder. Butter makes cookies taste better.
You're right. Let's bake a new batch with
butter.
I love real butter cookies.
Real butter makes holiday parties taste even better.
To taste delicious ice cream is to remember how it feels to be a kid. The excitement, the fun, the absolute joy. So taste some luscious, cool, creamy ice cream. Ice cream makes you feel like a kid again.
Good driving is a habit. You can learn good driving habits or bad driving habits. You can be a good driver or a bad driver. You decide. Who pays for bad drivers?
keep both hands on the wheel.
Good habits have their rewards.
We're back. Cassville, it would appear, would have a golden opportunity to get back into this game because Greg Model is fouled out with 5 fouls for Marshall, and Chad Peterson not 100% with that bad ankle.
Well, and keeping that in mind, I think the next key factor is Marshall has got to get the ball in the hands of Chris Huff as many times as they possibly can. Also, it'll be interesting now. What will Cassville do? Are they going to take this pressure and extend it from half court to 3/4 or full court? They've got to do something other than trade off baskets here.
The winner of this game plays Spring Valley for the Division IV championship tomorrow. Spring Valley, a 75-62 winner over Lena. And the typical story for Spring Valley is they just came together in the 4th quarter and put it to Lena, 75-62.
One thing Marshall is doing, Jay, is they're saving Peterson a few steps because they're lining him up on the free throw line at the basket where they're shooting. So that'll save him a little bit.
At the line is Corey Saucer, his 3rd point of the game. Cassville crawls to within 7.
Coaches think of all those little things. It's amazing.
Now look, Peterson runs to half court. Now he's on the other side of the line.
Don't ask me why.
Oki tracks the miss and gets it to Schaaf. And
Nice
it's a
block.
tie-up.
Nice block.
Matt Krieger. And rather Marshall will get it.
This is going to be an important possession right now because here comes Cassville, full court, well, 3/4 court. Still a man-for-man, doubling on the ball.
And again, without Model, their quarterback. Here's Huff. That's the strategy, Bill. Foul. Copeman. Yeah, that just makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Well, it really does, and I like what Chris did. He didn't hesitate. Gets the ball, and he takes it right to the basket. Obviously, that's not his best shot, but he thought, hey, maybe I can get 2 free throws out of this situation.
And he has quickness. I mean, he runs track and cross country, so you know he can move a little bit at 6'5". Inbound stolen right to Schaaf, right in his hands.
But he's not the team quarterback on the football team. He just threw an interception.
Oh, right. There you go. Schaaf to infield. Schaaf again. Copeman.
Clutch basket. Clutch basket.
Dennis Uppena says Brian Copeman is his clutch player. If it's close, they'll go to him. The senior. Peterson. Oki steals. Here comes Cassville. The Comets are running. Saucer. Overlays. Bothered by Corey Tremaine defensively. Now here's Peterson. 56-51 Marshall. Double team. Foul. Copeman.
Actually, that was a very smart defensive play. He drove to the baseline. He had his back turned to one of the defensive people. And here you see it right now. Chad Infield will come from behind and double with Brian Copeman on the baseline. Good defensive maneuver. Except they got a piece of his arm.
3rd personal foul on Copeman. 5 team fouls now on Cassville and another foul. That'll be 6 team fouls on Cassville. So with the next one, Marshall goes to the bonus.
Well, I like the adjustment they made on their baseline on a bounce play. At least they don't have Chris Huff throwing it in. He should be on the receiving end like that.
Free throw line. Good. 16 for Chris Huff. It's back to a 7-point advantage for Marshall. Infield. 22 is Schaaf.
You got to get the hands into Brian Coltman or Sam Oakey.
Schaaf for three. Got it.
That will help.
4-point game. 6 points for Schaaf. And the ball goes out of bounds. Cassville gets it.
Oh, boy, we got a little momentum shift here. I just think it may be too soon to start firing up the threes. If it's there in your offense, take them. But don't rely solely on that right now.
Infield. Drives it inside. Peterson's going to get... Nope, it's going to be 13. Killer Lane on a foul. Killer Lane and Peterson were right there defensively, but Killer Lane gets the personal, his first.
Well, what he did was his assignment defensively. If somebody penetrates on your teammate, you come over to help and stop the penetration.
And still 4:15 left in this game.
Oh, an eternity, Jay.
Oh.
This isn't over. There's going to be a lot of people with fingernails missing after this is over.
A gust of wind. Somebody opened a door to get that one in for infield. 58-55.
Chad, on the other hand, would say, hey, that's just a shooter's touch.
Somebody opened the door on the other side. That one got blown out. Oh, infield almost clicked the pocket of Peterson, but it was knocked out of bounds by infield.
Great anticipation that time. Almost timed it perfect.
But Marshall still has the lead by 3 as we approach the midway point of the 4th quarter.
Well, and Marshall has their 6'6" kid bringing the ball up, so you know they don't want that to happen.
Krieger flashes in the lane. Beauty. Nice pass from Peterson.
The key to that was he got the ball and he turned and squared to the basket. Nice jump shot. Marshall's very smart. They know what to do.
Marshall by 5. And they haven't fallen in love with the three-pointer. They've hit a lot, but they're not going to take that unless it's a good three-pointer. And as Oakey drives, a foul on Marshall. 2 players on the floor.
Here's the penetrating move. Dishes off. Well,
take your pick.
That's right. Flip a coin and give the scorekeeper a number.
They gave it to Matt Krieger, his 3rd.
Again, I hate to be repetitious, but here's a situation that helps Cassville. The clock stops. They're on the free throw line. If they make it, they can set up some kind of a pressure situation. Everything is going for them on this situation.
Troy Cramblett returns to the Marshall lineup as Oakey hits the first of 2 free throws.
We'll see what they do after the free throw if it's made here.
It is made. And Killer Lane left free, and he breaks the timeline easily.
If you haven't noticed, Chad Peterson has not touched the ball for a while.
Now he has it. A switch. Now Saucer guarding him. Peterson looking for Cramblett, but he stopped. He didn't break to the basket, and Peterson threw it out of the bounds.
Great idea. It just wasn't executed. But you can see what Chad Peterson does for this team. He creates a lot of situations.
In the 4th quarter, Cassville has outscored Marshall 17-7. Make it 19-7.
Chad, infield, you just got an A+ for that lob pass.
Peterson thought about 3, but gets it to Huff. Over Oakey. Foul, Oakey. That's going to be his 4th. And Huff goes to the floor hard.
Well, 2 good things happened there. Chris Huff took it strong to the basket, and he got the other big player, Sam Oakey, now in foul trouble. And he gets on the free throw line, which is a little bit more of a bonus. But again, there is really no reason for Cassville to panic here and get into a rush mentality. They've got a lot of time. It's a one-point spread. This is anybody's ball game right now.
Huff missed the free throw, and that's an upset. He's a 73% free throw shooter. We've talked about this among the coaches, the analysts, for quite some time this tournament, about how you don't have to go three-pointer every time. Maybe get, you know, a couple of twos mixed in there, and that can open up the three a little bit later if you really need it.
You're exactly right, Jay. That's why you should be coaching.
No. Coaching is about as secure as being in the television business.
Oh, really?
It's a good contest, let's put it that way. 2:50 left, 61-59. Marshall has led most of the way. They still have it now. Infield, driving. What a block by Peterson. And here's Huff on the break. Around the defenders to score.
A little spin move by a guy 6'6". Great move.
He brushed Sauser away and made the basket. 19 for Huff. Marshall's lead back to 4. Sauser to Coltman.
There's the senior's answer.
Brian Coltman has come alive. He has 19. 4 for 4 in the fourth quarter for Coltman.
Well, let's see what Marshall does now with the lead.
Peterson driving. Coltman rebounds under 2 minutes. Cassville can tie with a basket.
They had a nice numbers advantage here, but they didn't look at the right spot on the floor.
Boy, it's getting physical, too. Oki, foul on Krieger. Krieger bumped Oki on the pass. His 4th.
We've got a lot of people right now on the bubble as far as fouls are concerned. And this is what good teams will do now. They will find the person who's in foul trouble and get the ball to them and try and get them out of here. This is a great game, Jay.
Dennis Uppin, who looks pretty calm on the outside, but he's churning inside, I'll bet you.
I wonder what his blood pressure is right now. Should wire him up once.
Sam Oki hits the free throw. He's 7 out of 9 today.
You know, they did a study once, and coaches' blood pressure and their heartbeats go up on free throw situations. That is the most tense situation for a coach.
He feels better now. Our first tie since it was 5-5 early this morning. But now it's 63 all. Killer Lane gets it to Peterson. To Huff. Huff driving on Coltman. He'll spin. He'll miss the basket, but he's fouled by Coltman.
Well, he's become their main man.
His 4th.
Chad Peterson got the ball, and he dribbled to the corner, and he was immediately double-teamed.
Look at this spin move by Huff. He's done a lot of that today. Boy, he's a good player.
Pretty agile for a 6'5.5" kid. But again, that's probably because of his involvement in other sports.
And Cassville will call a timeout. They have 1 remaining. State tournament action continues after these messages from our statewide sponsors, Cenex, Land O'Lakes, and Menards. This is your WIAA network station.
Right now, save on storm doors and more at Menards. Larson Storm and Screen Doors are on sale. Larson doors are built with a solid wood core for extra strength, starting at just $88. And save on storm and screen door hardware from Wright Products. Choose from locks, closers, latches, and more. Now 20% off our everyday low prices. Make Menards your storm door headquarters.
Save big money at Menards.
Biodegradability, oxygenated fuels, sustainable agriculture. Since the environment's become a priority, a lot of new words have cropped up. But at Cenex Land O'Lakes, the environment has always been important. And now we're taking action in every area: feed, seed, petroleum, and agronomy. So when you hear all the new environmental words, remember a couple that have been around a while: Cenex and Land O'Lakes.
Cassville battled back. They've now tied it at 63 with 1:27 left. The big guys have been big factors today. Oki and Huff.
That's been just a standoff with those two guys. Great effort. Also, we were checking in between there on that timeout, and if you're talking about who do you want to foul in a crunch situation, most of the people out on the floor right now are pretty respectable free throw shooters, so that's just going to make it even more interesting.
Timeout situation, Cassville with 1 left, Marshall with 2, Cassville with the possession arrow. Chris Huff puts Marshall up by 1. He has 20 points today.
He's had a ball game. This is big because they could also set up some kind of a pressure defense if they wanted to. Nope, they're going to go into a half court again.
65-63. Will they go to Copeman? He's had a big second half for Cassville.
They're playing a zone defense, hoping that Cassville will throw up an ill-advised outside shot.
Infield finds Saucer into Oki, the freshman.
He's not a freshman anymore. I think he just graduated and he's a sophomore now. That's a clutch basket for a freshman.
Now Peterson has it. Killer lane. Baseline. Schaaf with a foul from behind.
That actually is not a bad play on his part. The player with the ball had his back turned. He came from the blind side and tried to slap it away, but he got a piece of him.
That is team foul number 7 on Cassville, so Marshall goes to the free throw line with the bonus situation. Jason Killerlane, 64% free throw shooter on the year.
I think he talked that one in.
Just enough. 66-65.
Get in there, get in there. Yes.
Yeah. 56.4 seconds left. No basket. He was over the line.
Costly.
Killerlane stepped over the free throw line on the shot.
Costly violation right now.
In comes Bobby Smith. Now here's Cassville. They're down 1. They have the basketball.
Marshall is going to go back into his zone defense again.
Schaaf to Oki. Count it!
He's no freshman, Jay.
Cassville's first lead of the game comes on a Sam Oki jumper and a foul.
This kid's no freshman. Watch this. Turnaround jump shot, hounded, surrounded.
And Marshall calls time. 47.5 seconds left. 67-66. Cassville.
Are we having fun yet, Jay?
What is it about fourth quarters with these Division IV games? My goodness.
Like I told Jim during the last game, what the coaches should do is switch the number 4 and the number 1, and we'd have the excitement at the beginning of the game and at the end. The kids would get so confused, it'd be like this for 32 minutes.
Sam Oki, the newly graduated sophomore, has 25 points for Cassville today, 9 in this quarter. Now you've got a senior Brian Copeman who's done a lot of damage in the fourth quarter, but also the freshman Sam Oki on his last 2 trips down has just been fantastic. There you see some important figures for the rest of this game with Cassville with a 1-point lead.
Give me a break, Jay. He's not a freshman.
Nah.
You know, when I watched the shoot-around, I really thought there was something special about the kid. Just the way he moved, the confidence. I watched him when they were shooting. He would take a 1 step toward the basket and dunk it with no effort whatsoever. The kid is a player. I think this kid potentially is a Division I player if he keeps improving at the pace he is right now.
Well, the first time down, he stuffed with his left hand so easily, and everybody thought, oh, he's a left-hander.
Exactly.
But he's a right-hander, but he can play it both ways. Here's Oki.
I wonder if we could talk him into transferring to Brookfield.
Oki converts the 3-point play. Now Cassville with a 2-point lead. But don't count Marshall out by any means.
Not when Chad Peterson is holding the ball.
They get it to Huff. Over 2 defenders. Air ball. Oki has it. And infield is wide open. Here comes Huff.
Big play.
Cassville by 4. What a turnaround.
Chad Peterson attempt a three here.
And Marshall calls its last timeout.
Good timeout. You can set up a three-point play. They don't have any more timeouts, but I'm sure what he's going to do is then, if we make a 2 or a 3, set up some full court pressure. This is what he's got to do in this huddle right now. He's got to discuss several things, not only just his offensive scheme. He's got to talk about what do we do if we make or we miss. He's got to cover almost every situation in this huddle.
Okay, now this is just after the miss by Huff. You'll see how quickly Cassville gets it down court, and infield was just absolutely wide open.
Well, he kind of cheated a little bit early. It's a gamble, but it paid off.
And look who was down there to at least try to get infield bothered was Chris Huff. He runs both ends of the court so well.
Yeah, he did that the other time, too, when Sam Oakey in the end of the first half dribbled it to the three-point line.
Field goals in the fourth quarter. For Cassville, Coltman is 4 of 4. Schaff is 2 of 2. Oakey is 2 of 2.
As the camera zooms in on the cheerleaders, one group looks like they're, well, they both look like they're either going to explode and cry or explode with jubilation.
The only thing we haven't seen today is a three-point shot and a foul for a 4-point play.
Don't count it out.
Killer Lane has it. Final seconds, fourth quarter. Cassville by 4. Peterson, three-pointer. Off. Peterson follows. Good. 2-point basket. Marshall out of timeouts. They foul Oakey.
Smart play. Smart play. Obviously, what Chad would have preferred there, when he released the ball, he was in three-point territory. He may have gotten 3 free throws on that miss, but very alertly got his own rebound, put up the 2, and fouled on the inbounds pass.
Foul on Peterson, his third. Sam Oakey back to the free throw line. Spring Valley put together a great fourth quarter. Cassville is doing the same. 70-68 Cassville.
Well, now you need a 3, obviously, to tie if he misses the second free throw.
Oakey is 10 of 12 from the free throw line today. No fouls, say Cassville. 27 points for the freshman.
What you don't want to happen now is if Sam Oakey misses, you don't want him to get his own rebound.
Now the scoreboard had Marshall with no timeouts left.
Well, Cassville called it.
Oh, Cassville called it. Okay. All right, so Cassville I believe they're out too now, right?
Right. Cassville kind of helped Marshall here with that timeout. Yeah. But I think what they want to do is explain exactly what they want to do defensively. And obviously, they don't want to foul. Their opponent right now is the clock. Get that thing ticking and get all the light bulbs cleared on it. So it's 0-0-0.
What a following from Cassville, a town of about 1,100, but they sold about 800 tickets. And they can sense a berth in the Division IV final, but they have to survive the final 8.2 seconds.
Well, obviously, this is one of the things they've talked about for a long time. They want another shot at Spring Valley.
Coming up this afternoon in Division II, Monona Grove and Onalaska start our coverage at 2 o'clock. That'll be followed by Campbellsport and Two Rivers. Then this evening, Division I semifinals. Milwaukee King against Oshkosh North, Madison West, and Eau Claire North. Marshall hasn't hit a three-point field goal in quite some time.
Well, they're overdue, obviously, but you got to give Cassville credit. They have really pressured the perimeter people.
Yeah. They really haven't taken a three-point shot in quite some time.
They haven't been in position.
Peterson. Okay, here we go. Final seconds. Peterson is open. It's for 3. It's good, but the clock will run out.
Don't throw it in.
Cassville comes back and wins. You talk about the gamut of emotion. The Cassville players are just giddy, and the Marshall players are in tears, literally.
Well, both teams didn't leave anything with them to take into the locker room. They left it all out here, Jay. Great example of the value of high school athletics right here. Kids shaking hands after scratching and clawing for 32 minutes.
We'll return after these messages from your local station. This is your WIAA network station.
The city of Marshall, famous for WIAA excellence, supports their boys basketball team and their journey to the state championship. Call Modal Electric for all your electrical needs in the Marshall area. 655-3113. Modal Electric, 655-3113. Farmers and Merchant State Bank, located in Marshall and Waterloo. Over 90 years of banking service. Fry Realty, Marshall's #1 realtor. Contact Larry Fry for home sales and new home construction. Best of luck to Coach Benson and his Fighting Cardinals.
Hey, Dick, look, the state basketball tourneys are on TV.
Say, did I ever tell you about the great teams we had when I was in school? Boy, we used to score.
Brother, Dick gets so excited reliving old high school memories that he forgets to tell people what great values we have here at Engstad Chevy Buick Olds. Our service and sales team will make you feel like the MVP.
Hey, still fits like a glove.
Stop living in the past every time you step into your old car. Our deals are so good, you'll think you're the one who's dreaming.
Now during deer season, you can get up to $400 off on lawn and garden tractors, or up to $150 off on one of our riding mowers, or up to $80 off on one of our mulching mowers. With 36 different mowers to choose from, there's no lawn too large or too small for a John Deere.
Bob Barr's Kawasaki, South Stoughton Road, Madison. Dave's Turf and Marine, Highway 16, East Watertown. Farmers Implement, Highway 35, Bloomington. And Evergreen Equipment, County D.R. Monroe.
Well, Halley's Comet comes around once in a long time. I think a comeback like Cassville comes around once in a great while as well.
Well, it didn't look good there for a while, but I'll tell you, they got some players, and they played well down the stretch together. That was the key.
Now we're ready with the interview with the winning head coach from Cassville, Dennis Uppena. Here is Chris Roth.
Thank you very much, Jay. And Dennis, last year, that tough loss to Spring Valley, you were down 10, and they scored 37. Well, this time you come in down 13, you scored 32, and you're moving on to the finals.
Well, we told the kids that we just had to stick with our game plan, and that, of course, is to get the ball inside. And it worked. We got them in foul trouble finally down the stretch, even though we were too. And we hit a couple of threes. Stan Schultz just played a tremendous game, taking the pressure and just taking the ball to the basket, dishing off. And those 2 threes he hit were very key.
Also a couple steals, but let's talk about the freshman who is really not a freshman anymore. Sam Oakey, folks, a star is born. He was so tough in the 4th quarter.
Well, you don't know what a freshman's going to do when he gets in here. The final game of the sectionals, I thought he showed a little freshman situation, you know, where he wasn't all that confident. But today there was none of that. He was totally confident. Great physical ability, and as long as he keeps his poise and confidence, he's going to be all right.
And all right are we, because we get the rematch now, Spring Valley and Cassville. Was it in the back of your minds, and are you looking forward to it?
We believed that we could beat Marshall. We really did. Knowing what the competition was that they played, we knew that they'd be, you know, a really up-tempo team, and they were strong. First half, we didn't know what we were going to do when they hit all those threes, but we had confidence that we could play with them.
Okay, well, good luck tomorrow, Dennis, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, Jay and Bill, it's going to be fun tomorrow, that's for sure. Let's send it back to you.
And I suggest you watch that Cassville Spring Valley game to the conclusion, because if you leave early, you might miss an awful lot. We're going to take a look at a couple of quick highlights. Greg Modal fouled out for Marshall. Chad Peterson was injured, and they hung around for a while as guys like Jason Killerlane hit some shots to keep them close. But the Cassville comeback keyed by Brian Koopman and Sam Oakey.
Well, here's the freshman we've been talking